So you want to get into government contracting. I'm Danny, also with SC&H, here to give you a little bit of background about the types of contract awards that you can win. There are a variety of type of contract awards available to companies in the government contracting space, all of which have significant implications on the short and long-term operations of the company. What I mean by this is that when it comes to bidding on a contract award, it's important to understand what type of administrative support is needed to go through with those contracts. We talked a bit briefly about some of the benefits of working with the federal government in a previous question, but there are also some barriers to entry in terms of from an administrative standpoint. But surrounding yourself with a team that understands the pluses and minuses, some of the difficulties and nuances of the government contracting space can set you up for success both in the short and in the long term. Some of those classifications of contract awards are full and open, where you're competing kind of against everybody in the market. Anybody can bid on them. Small business set-asides, which we touched on briefly. Basically, this is a way to level the playing field for any socially or economically disadvantaged companies, basically giving them a way to compete with some of the larger companies, or to set aside so that they don't have to compete with some of the larger companies. So it's easier for everyone to have a chance at bidding on some of that work. Then there's contracting assistance programs and joint ventures. It's important to understand joint ventures because this is a huge space where companies in the government contracting space can partner up with another company to bid on a potential government contract. But it'll be important to understand and have somebody that is experienced in business development on your team, so that you can understand some of the rules and compliance behind these types of contract awards. One of the key terms that we'd like you to take away from this is a contract vehicle. And that's something that you would want to have somebody on your business development team that really understands what this is. Because there are several contracts out there that companies can go after in the federal government contracting space. It's important to understand which one of those are really good, which one of them look good on the surface and also have produced good results. Because getting on a contract vehicle basically allows you to go after additional task orders. This is basically a streamlined method used by the government to obtain a contract. Once on a vehicle, the ability to pick up actual work in the form of task orders is less competitive and quicker to turn around. It's important for the company to understand which options are available to get them on a vehicle that could help add value to the company in both short and long term. In a later piece, we'll discuss the different tools available to help understand what options are available to best set up your company for long-term success. So basically what we're looking at here is equipping your team in the short term and in your planning phases to support what you're going after in the long term, and also to understand what it really means. If you get on an IDIQ type contract, does that mean that your company's immediately worth the entire contract value? Typically, no. That means that you have the ability to go after work that's issued through that IDIQ, which, sometimes there's some confusion there. So building your team, your accountants, a legal team, business development is an essential part of understanding, what type of contract awards you want to go after. And if you want to utilize some of those small business set-aside programs that we briefly touched on in a previous question. If you have any questions about, a potential award that you're looking at and how to make yourself competitive, feel free to reach out and we can talk at any time.